Hey guys, I am here. Today I wanted to make a video about my analysis of and predictions for FNAF Security Breach. I spent a long time creating this document and video, and just a heads up, it's going to be a long video, probably akin to my review video I did on one of the Star Wars movies, so just as a forewarning. I'm going to have the timestamps here in the video and in the description for each section that I'm going to go through. And this is going to be an analysis of basically everything we've seen of Security Breach, all of the gameplay footage, all of the trailers, all of, Dawko's wallpapers and such. Click on whatever you want in this video or keep listening. First, we're starting with my analysis of both of the Security Breach trailers. I'm going to analyze the teaser trailer first, and then the gameplay trailer, shot by shot. And I'm going to also include some information from the Nvidia trailer, because that's also a trailer, but it was also just kind of like a, hey, look at what Nvidia can do sort of trailer. So I'm going to be starting with the teaser trailer. The teaser trailer is the shorter trailer that was released last September. There isn't much in the trailer as there was in the gameplay one, but I'm still going to analyze this because there's some information in here that is useful. So the first shot in this sequence was the shipping and receiving area. Pretty empty area, but if you look around, there's plenty to look at. We have forklift that's themed after Glamrock Freddy. There's a lot of stuff that's kind of themed around Glamrock Freddy, including a trash can. It's great. We have a little caution box that says keep clear inside of it with an 81 above it. 81 probably leads into a room or something, not exactly sure. There's a larger caution box in the back, which makes me think that there's like a loading dock door back there, which is basically where storage trucks and shipping trucks would back into so that you can unload stuff from them. In this sequence, we also have some voice lines from Vanny, and we see like a door that she's coming through. And this door actually parallels one of the storage rooms that we see in the gameplay trailer that she's peeking out of. We also have a couple other doors, so it seems like there's a lot of doors in case we, as Gregory, have to escape the area. I thought the door frame she was, like, coming out of would have had something interesting, but there's just a fire extinguisher there, and this was also prior to the gameplay trailer, which actually showed the door with, like, the staff sign and the red button on it. So, yeah, it's just a door. And it does look like the back connects to, like, a boiler room area. There's some differences between the teaser trailer and gameplay trailer. So I'm not exactly certain if between the two trailers these are separate areas or if they've just revamped part of the same area. I'm not sure. We'll see when the game comes out. Helpy's back in box form this time, though. It was hard for me to see what the boxes said, like on the wall next to us. I think one of them says Party and SFX81, but that took a lot of guesswork, a lot of sharpening images on GIMP. One of the boxes does definitely say SFX, though, but I'm unsure about the Party part of it. And yeah, it does look like it says 81, which would correspond with that door where the Keep Clear box is. So it's not important, it's just something extra that I noticed. In the kitchen, the next scene, we have Moondrop, who is stalking us. Helpy's back. He is on a barrel of Torque and Toil. Not sure what that is, but it sounds like something used for animatronics, or it's in the kitchen, might be something for the kitchen, who knows, I have no idea. We have a Glamrock Freddy themed box, and then we also have, there's like a strange orange glow. I'm not exactly certain what this is. It comes up again. You see orange glows in all of these different locations, so just keep that in mind as we go forward. It looks like the back hall connects to the shipping and receiving area I talked about earlier, or like a storage area. It seems like this is all just sort of like a backstage area that connects to each other. I wasn't sure about what the area to the right was, but as far as I can tell, it's probably sort of just like a trash or trash compactor area. I don't know what like the lighter frame is up in like the top right corner. Probably trash compactor, no idea. If anyone knows what this sort of machine would be, then just let me know. Next we have the Fazer Blast Arena. We don't see much of this. We see plenty of footage of this throughout like the teaser and gameplay trailer and all that stuff, but it's such an empty room that there's no spoilers, which is why they just keep showing it to us. But there's a spiral staircase that goes up, not sure why. And then we have the area, the higher up area. I think it's got to be like a lounge for adults or people who aren't playing laser tag. Not certain. It's there in both trailers. So yeah, we'll see it in the game. So next we have the mall entrance. Thanks to Dawko's wallpapers, I can kind of more solidify where things are and what things are in this area. So we have an elevator behind the Freddy statue. We have stairs in the back, which lead up and into what looks like a wide hallway, probably the atrium. I'm going to go over this some more in like the gameplay trailer and also in my maps section. In the Nvidia trailer, we see the area to the left, the upper left, is called the Faz Pad. Sounds like a food place, probably a restaurant. There's also a movie theater and gift shop shown, which I think was just called Glam Rock Gifts. I think I'll go over that some more later. So I also noticed, I think there was something or someone or just an item at the ticket booth by the entrance turnstiles. It looks like it could be like one of those robots that helps people. We see those a couple of times like in like the dining areas and stuff. Or it could just be something random like a statue over there. I don't know. It's there. I wouldn't be surprised if the ticket salesmen were robots. Next we have the gameplay trailer. And so the gameplay trailer is just the longer trailer that we most recently got from PlayStation. I'm gonna analyze each area as it shows up in the trailer, but if an area shows up more than once, then I'll just discuss all of the clips that we see of that area all at once. This is mostly meant for Monty's golf course, which we see a couple of times. And again, we're going to have some information added on via the Nvidia reveal trailer. So first is what I call the Vanny hallway. We first see Vanny dancing down a hallway, and the hallway kind of moves out of focus as she moves down it. I'm not sure if this is like a clip from the player's POV or if we're looking from the view of camera. But I assume it's the player's POV because she kind of stays in focus and the area around her like wavers. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a visual effect for you to know that Vanny's nearby. Sort of like in the game Soma, they have like a kind of a glitchy effect happen to the player's camera when there's like a monster coming near you. We later see the same hallway, but it has like a camera overlay on it. I'm not sure exactly why there's a camera overlay. I don't feel like there would be a camera just staring straight down a hallway, but who knows. And as far as I can tell, the first clip is just like her patrolling mode, her patrolling animation, which we see actually quite a few times in this trailer. And the second is her chase animation, which is just her booking it down the hallway. Next is the elevator. So we get to see Vanessa in full security guard gear. She has purple painted nails, and actually a Fazbear branded flashlight. Seems like they're doing pretty well for themselves. The trailer was definitely made prior to the game being polished. I noticed really early on when I started analyzing this trailer that you can actually see through her belt buckle. I don't think this is intended. If it was intended, I don't think they would have included it in the game because it would have been huge spoilers. So, it's fine. I just noticed it. You don't even see it until you get like underneath her in the shot. We also see statues of the Sun animatronic in the back. The Sun, I think Sunrise was his name. They could be part of like an arcade cabinet or a dining area. They almost look like decorations that are just hanging from the ceiling. Who knows? And then, this is just random, but the cyan colored digital wall behind Vanessa reminds me of the blue spiral staircase that the Fazer Blast Arena had. I don't know if these two areas connect straight to each other. Based on the maps that I've made, I don't think they would. I just think that they're like, oh yeah, vertical motion equals cyan, go team. I mean, sure, why not? Color coding. Next is Fazer Blast. The Fazer Blast Arena is back, but it looks a little bit different. Steel wool, looks like they kind of scaled back on the lighting and the flashy aspects of the arena, mostly like the higher up lounge area. It probably would have been a little bit too much for players with all the flashing lights and bright lights and different colors, and so I can see why they changed that. There was a door in the back of the lounge, and it is now closed. It was open in the teaser trailer, but now it's closed. And now there's actually a new door below the lounge, so that's interesting. So the next area is the back hall. That's what I'm calling it. It seems like they enjoy putting the Pizzaplex logo on as much stuff as possible. I mean, the logo was on a boiler in the boiler room, and now it's kind of like on this random wall as well, even though those aren't really guest-facing areas. So I'm not sure exactly where this is. All I know is that the hall continues down to the right side. It just keeps going. It could be connected to other back rooms like shipping and receiving or the storage areas. Not sure. I think they all just connect to each other in the back. So the next area is the animatronic platform. This is the first time we see them with their red eyes, and I'm going to go much more in depth on this topic in the animatronics / game mechanics section. The red eyes seem to be kind of significant. Vanny also flashes on the screen after all 3 activations, so at this point she's probably in control of the animatronics. And since we're here, I was able to do some editing and create full body shots of the animatronics. Here is a picture right here. The next shot is of the security office. Once again, it's probably found in the staff area or backstage of the building. It looks like they have a PA system, and they also, have a phone sitting there. There's not much to note besides some magenta-colored buttons, foreshadowing, oh, crazy. I tried to figure out what the cameras were trying to show on them. They were flickering a lot, and I was only able to, vaguely see one room, but I still wasn't able to identify what it actually was. There's a lot of cameras, kind of excessive. The trailer also says that there's, a mix of gameplay and cinematics shown. I think this is quite obviously a cinematic or a cutscene clip, and it's very nice. There's a really good dolly zoom effect. It's super cool. Appreciated. So the next shot is Monty's. So it looks like in Monty's there's going to be a sort of catwalk system up above, or an upper walkway for the guests to walk down. It's probably going to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest area in the game. It's massive. There's a crap ton of holes, and we only ever see maybe 6 of them, if that, with all of these screenshots and trailers and stuff. We can also see Monty patrolling in that area later on. So the next shot is of the museum hall. That's what I'm calling this area. It doesn't have an official name yet, as far as we know. But for simplicity's sake, I'm calling it the museum hall because it's basically a museum. And it's in a hallway. Wow, what a name. So this is basically kind of a semicircle room where animatronics can do meet and greets as well as photo ops. Each animatronic has their own meet and greet room. Later on we found out that they're called green rooms, and then they all have a side area, which would be for photo ops. Each green room for each animatronic has a different arcade cabinet in it. Might need to play them all to get a secret surprise thing to happen. I don't know. There are relics kept in cases near their relevant animatronics. For example, near Chica's green room, they have Chica's guitar, and they have an old cupcake in one of the cases. Near Roxy's area, they have Captain Foxy's Pirate Adventure. So yeah, each animatronic has relevant stuff near their areas. It's pretty cute. I also noticed that there is a Wallow art. I'm calling it the Wallow art. It looks like you might be able to collect artwork throughout the game. Not exactly certain, but it's very interesting. I'm wondering what art could be on those walls. I also noticed that Gregory hides in the curtains that surround Roxanne's meet and greet window. So if you don't know what this area looks like, it really did help for me to create a map, because I know what the area looks like. I know where everything is now, and apparently hiding in curtains is a game mechanic. There you go. There is a window overlooking the hall. Not sure why, but yeah, you can go look in that window and be like, hey, look, animatronics, woohoo. I don't know why. Also, something really, really funny is that you can see Roxanne just standing in the museum when you're running past Chica's room. I think to get the gameplay trailers and stuff out, they needed to just record some base footage, and that would have included putting animatronics in specific areas for them to do what they need to do. Next we have the sewer. The sewer, there's not a lot happening. It's hard to tell what's going on because, yeah, it's dark, like a lot of these spooky little areas in the game. There's just a bunch of junk. I noticed a crash test dummy in the sewer. Not sure why. And it's it seems like the sewer is kind of basically a maze system below the facility, which, that That sounds about right. Let's FNAF 4 up in here. Woo! Next is the playground area. The playground seems to have a day and night cycle, which is indicated based on the symbol that's like below the tower, basically. In the trailer, we see that Moondrop has red eyes, but Sunrise does not have red eyes. Both of them do have bells on their wrists, which probably does like a sound cue so that you know where they are in the playground area. I did see a lot of those random orange lights again. Still don't know what they're for. And like most of these areas, there are 2 levels. There's like the base playground level, and there's just another one higher up. Not sure exactly what's up there. There were some random doors up there as well, but I'll go over that in the playground map, which you can skip here too if you want to see the map that I made for it. Next is the kitchen. Not much there. Chica's there, patrolling the kitchen, as she does. There you go. Chica. Next is a shot of the watch that Gregory has. There's quite a lot going on here. It's actually a little bit overwhelming upon first look. So for the cameras themselves, there are zoom and pan functions. It tracks your flashlight battery, possibly has a shock mechanic. There's also a warning number or a danger meter. Not sure what. It could be counting the number of animatronics that are active. I have no idea. There's a ticket system. You might earn tickets from playing games, or you can use tickets to buy something. I have no idea. It's just there. And there's possibly like a night vision mode for the cameras that you can look through. You can switch between cameras in a given location, which is actually pretty cool. You can just be like right on top of a camera. I wonder if you could see yourself in a camera. That'd be interesting. Something else that's not like super relevant is that Gregory's watch is like yellow or golden. Golden Freddy. It's implied later on that there's multiple possible wristband colors, which I will discuss more in the wallpaper section of this video. Next is the Utilidors. This is the official name for that long hallway. Basically a lot of the long hallways in the back area. So we see Monty smash through a fence gate, which makes me think that there's going to be probably some sort of game mechanic for fence gates. The player runs away from that direction right after. Monty's probably evil. Possibly. He has the red eyes and we're running away from him, so I can only assume so, but whatever, you know. And Roxanne can't get through the fence, so again, possibly some mechanic for fence gates. We also see Chica and the player in some sort of storage room. It seems kind of similar to the kitchen hallways, so I wouldn't be surprised if the kitchens all lead back through the Utilidors. Again, Utilidors and the kitchens and storage probably all connect in the back. We see Helpy again. He's on a box. Awesome. And there's also this logo of like a planet that I feel like I've seen somewhere before, but I never noticed it until now. I feel like I've seen it in some other game. It probably would have been, it had to have been like FNAF World or something. The next area is Roxanne's Racing. They have a lot of set dressing. They have some pit stop locations, which look like food stalls. They have some stadium seating, which seems really excessive. There's like, I don't know, 100-something seats over there, and there's not going to be that many people on the track, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. And also, they're just showing some random stuff on the TVs. I don't know, like the left side looks like a cartoon, and the right side looks like an ad for Sodaroni. I don't know what's going on, but this game's going to be hilarious in some aspects. The next shot is of the staff room. So the red button that Vanny is standing near probably would be like a goal for you to hit as Gregory. Hitting it might send animatronics into patrol mode, and pressing it might turn them off again. I don't know. This is just a guess, but it's big red button, probably important. Staff probably means something like security team at Freddy Fazbear's. I have no idea. Probably not security, considering it's a storage room. Possibly could be just a storage team at Freddy Fazbear's. I think it's probably a really pointless acronym, or it's gonna end up being something fucking hilarious. But it's there to make us go like, oh, what's going on with the lore? I don't know. What does this mean? Ha ha ha. So just don't worry about it. It's fine. It's also within the same general area as the meeting room. There is a meeting room, which is shown in the Nvidia trailer. Again, I feel like the boiler room area that we see in the teaser trailer turns into the boiler room slash staff area slash storage space, thanks to the, updated look at it from the Nvidia trailer. Don't know, just a guess. Might be changed, might be totally separate rooms, not sure. The last thing is the mechanical arm. Whoa, spooky, wow, look at the lore, the implications. Oh my god. So I've looked at a lot of pictures of the game, and the arm of the character is in like a maintenance area. I'll get into what this room is specifically later on in the video when I discuss like rooms and areas that haven't been mentioned yet in the games, like specifically. So there's like a work table, there's like 2 deactivated arcade cabinets. I feel like the reveal of the character is going to be really daunting, and it seems like Afton has probably stolen parts from animatronics to reshape himself, or they're introducing the Stitch Wraith, or it's both, or it's neither, but it's spooky. Oh my god. Alright guys, so the next section is my analysis of the security breach wallpapers. So Dawko did a charity live stream, and as the live stream goals were hit, he was able to release new wallpapers for security breach, which is awesome. Just as a forewarning, a lot of these images might look really bright or a bit deep fried, and it's because I tried to brighten and sharpen a lot of them. The green rooms are the worst in this aspect because I was trying to read the arcade cabinets, but it seems like Steel Wool like purposefully blurred out the names on those. So the first room is a sewer. Le Gasp. That's kind of a really crazy room. It just honestly looks like a trash room to me. So there's probably multiple copies of every animatronic, since, this Chica is in the sewer / trash room. It's possible there's either multiple of each animatronic, which would make sense if one, breaks down and stuff, or this is way later in the game after something has happened to Chica. Something to note is that there are 2 doors instead of 1. It's probably possible that only 1 door is working right now, since the area does seem really run down, and the door probably stays locked until Gregory does something to open it. The red light above the door kind of gives way to that idea. Chica basically looks infected and really damaged, and I'll talk about this later in the endgame content section. Next is Freddy's green room. So the green rooms connect to a back area. They probably all connect to one big back hallway, and they probably connect to a maintenance and storage area. You can kind of see in the back there are boxes that look like tech equipment boxes, and it looks like there could also be like a breaker panel in the back. Not exactly certain. I was trying to read his arcade cabinet, couldn't read it. Kind of sad. Couldn't exactly tell what was on the cabinet either. But it seems like all of their arcade machines are mostly themed after the characters whose room that they're in. There's also some bowling equipment near his couch, which is very interesting because we have not specifically seen what aspects of Freddy are actually in the building. We've seen Monty has his golf course, and I don't know, Chica's the party girl, and Roxanne is the racer, but Freddy we haven't seen anything, so bowling would actually make sense to me, although it's called Bonnie Bowling in the Atrium screenshot we see, so who knows, but possibly bowling. So the next wallpaper is of Monty's green room, and this is one of the most interesting wallpapers I've seen. The sewer was interesting, the arm in the gameplay trailer was cool. Monty's green room is, God, he's gonna be such a difficult character. So the room looks pretty plain. We have another arcade cabinet, but this one is turned off. The insert coin buttons are working though, so you can probably fix the arcade cabinet somehow. You can tell after sharpening the image that it's based on Montgomery Gator himself, but I don't know, again, what it says on the front of it. I think the second half of it is pizza. It could say Faz Pizza or something like that, which I wouldn't put past Steel Wool because they've used names like Pizzaplex and Fazcade. So there you go. We can tell that he is golf themed based on, the barrels. He's got the putters in the containers and all that stuff that's going on, which we already knew because we have the screenshots and the videos and all that. So the most interesting thing about this room is how destroyed it is. I was looking at the back door, and then I noticed that part of the green couch and some of the toys had been thrown around in that area. And then I noticed that there were scratch marks on the walls and also a hole by the arcade cabinet. The hole looks intentional, like the broken part looks painted on, but the scratch marks are not intentional. Not at all. It doesn't look like it. And the back door is partially covered, and on the uncovered side, there's just darkness. And based on Chica's room, Monty's door is half intact, and the other half is missing. In Chica's, you can tell that there's like a strip of like the caution tape basically on the bottom. It's just a dead giveaway that the whole door is there. And on Monty's, you can only see half of it. I think he ripped his door off. Yeah, so I think Monty's going to be a really big threat in this one. We also get to see his guitar, his bass guitar. Bass players for life, yay. But also, wow, Monty is scary. Next is Roxanne's green room. So actually, something small to note, but I'm going to say first, is that the curtain in the back is red, not purple. And based on visual design, I like visual design. I think it's cool because Foxy hid behind a purple curtain, and now they're flipping the colors. And speaking of Foxy, what's behind that curtain? Look at that. Wow. What could it be? Oh, wow. Okay. So Roxanne's room is really cool. She has like a car themed, because she has the raceway. There are a lot of plushies, Roxanne themed helmets, trophies, oil barrels, a lot of cool stuff. And I wasn't certain what that cyan colored thing in the corner was, but it's actually a bike, which makes sense. I like cyan, as you can tell from my channel, so I think this bike is really cool. There's probably similar bikes in the actual racing area itself. Last is the arcade cabinet. Name is impossible to read, but the cabinet looks like it has the anime version of Foxy on it and like a beefy version of Mangle in a suit. I don't know. Or Mangle's like on a roller coaster. I don't know. Mangle looks like Kingpin. I'm going to be so interested to see what is actually on the arcade cabinet when I play this game. Next is Chica's green room. Some of the wallpapers are a higher quality than others, and Chica's green room is one of those larger wallpapers, and it really does deserve it because between the gameplay trailer and now, there's been a huge glow up in just like all of the rooms and their details and the little things added to them. They added the cupcakes in there quite a few different times. Probably a plushie, a little bit different looking, but still really cute. And Chica also has her own plushies. Chica's arcade cabinet is really blurry, and this is what kind of led me to thinking that Steel will intentionally blurred out the names of the cabinets because you can clearly see the details on everything but the name of the cabinet. It does make sense that she would be roaming in the kitchens and such because her entire thing is just being a big ad to buy food and to party and have fun and eat pizza and all that stuff. So yeah, she's probably in a lot of food-related areas. We don't really know if she has her own themed area yet, like Monty's golf course, but she probably has some big party room somewhere. So there's a lot of random stuff in her room as well. So it looks like there's a bowling ball from Freddy's room and an oil container from Roxanne's room. The only other things to note would be there's a random pair of children's shoes and some yellow things on the ground. I'm not sure what they are. I don't think it's pizza, but I have no idea what they are. Maybe more shoes. Not sure why there's shoes in her room, but it does look like a party just ended, so who knows? I don't know. All right, so next is the Atrium. This is a really cool one. There's a lot going on here, and it helped me learn a lot about what the layout might be like for Security Breach. So some of the highlights are, this is probably the hub that you have within the game. You'll probably enter through the turnstiles and the entrance area, and then that upwards hallway will lead into this atrium. It'll go around the atrium and straight through it as well. And I'll talk about this later in the layout map section. I will have the timestamp here if you want to immediately go look at the atrium/entrance map that I've made. It's not a bad layout. It's probably a little bit much for young kids. There's also, we see themed trash cans and a lot of entrances to other areas. In this screenshot, the entrances are closed. So this is probably when the facility is officially closed, but Gregory probably like turned lights on, or Vanessa turned some lights on. Who knows? I'm not sure. We see Bonnie Bowl on the second floor, and we only see half of this entire area in the screenshot. So it seems like there's like a lot of other stuff that we aren't seeing that's kind of hidden in different areas around this atrium. So the next area is Monty Golf 1. This is one of the more interesting pictures to me, besides like the atrium and Monty's green room itself. Based on the teeth that we see and Monty's chest design that we see earlier on, I had figured that Gregory would possibly be able to climb into Monty like we see him do with Freddy. This may or may not be the case in the future. When I looked closer, I realized that this is literally just an inside shot of Monty's head in his golf course. It's very tricksy. I thought for a hot minute that it was an animatronic view from through his mouth. Like the other Glamrock animatronics, he has, shiny and straight teeth on the animatronic body itself. So these teeth in the picture are different from the ones on the actual animatronic. It would have been really funny if Steel Wool had released the first golf picture without showing us the second one, because the next picture that we're going to review actually helps us figure out what's actually going on in the first picture. Something random is that Monty is also in a T-pose on this screenshot. He's either doing a weird dance or they forgot to pose him before snapping a picture, probably the latter. So next is Monty Golf 2. This second picture gives us the context we need to figure out that we're actually looking at a really well-detailed statue of Monty's face. I didn't brighten this one, but I did sharpen it a little bit because I like high quality pictures. And the only other thing to note is that it looks like this part of the course takes place inside Monty's stomach. I mean, that's like how I interpreted it. You can see that there's like distinct ribs and also like dead fish as decorations. So yeah, just take that as you want. Just some little theming right there. I think at this point Monty is my favorite character so far. Next is Gator Golf Sublobby. I'm not sure why this one's called Sublobby. Most likely it's like an area where kids can play like before or after a game of mini golf has started. We see a ball pit. There's quite a few of those around the Pizzaplex. And it looks like there's like a slide leading into it or something like that. This kids area might be where people can rent mini golf equipment, as there's like a closed stand behind the golf ball ride, which that is a design choice right there. And it seems almost kind of like an Easter egg to, I believe it was Pizzeria Simulator, because there was also like kind of like a golf ball shaped ride in that game. There are a few of the yellow-red lights inside of, or like next to the rental stand. Again, the lights are there. They're everywhere. I'm not sure what they're for, but they're there. They could be part of a camera system or something like that, but I have no idea. This next one, it's just called Mini Golf. The picture's just called Mini Golf. I'm assuming it's like the entrance to the mini golf area, although it features a lot of Freddy, so it could be a red herring. It could be the last hole of the course. I know a lot of places like to leave a really simple hole near the end of their golf course. The amount of Freddy plushies here is a little bit creepy. I feel like we're going to have some random like Bendy and the Ink Machine or like plush baby moment where one of the plushies just looks over at us. Steel Wool, if you want to do that, that would be interesting. Suggestions. And one final tidbit is that the posters that tease the game are being used on screens, sort of like on the LCD displays up above, which is really cool. The next area is the West Arcade. Having West in the name, kind of interesting to me. It makes it seem like there's going to be multiple arcades, or at least like multiple arcade entrances. The first thing is that they name dropped the name Moondrop. Say that 10 times fast. And as I was like writing the first part of this theory, I went back and watched Mark play part of the Curse of Dreadbear DLC. And I just happened to like watch him play the Trick or Treat minigame, and at one point he like picks up a piece of candy that's called a Moondrop. And I'm not one to like predict the names of characters or anything. So I'm glad that they like actually confirmed that the character's name was Moondrop, because I was like, what if they did this? And it seems like there's a lot of callbacks to the random food and drinks that you find in, you know, FNAF VR, namely Sodaroni, Moondrop, you know, a couple other things. I'm not sure what Sleepy Time Candy is. It sounds a little bit evil, or what Chica of the Sea is. I really hope that we get like a really cute, cheesy video for this one. These probably might be explained later, or the random ads. I'm thinking the latter, but we'll see. There's also like a spaceship kiddie ride, which according to Dawko is Helpy's favorite ride. I wouldn't know, I haven't been keeping up with the lore. There are also ATMs down the hall and some really cool murals on the walls. There's another screen in the back, and I didn't understand exactly what was on it at first, but now I do know what it is. It is actually like a diagram of the Freddy wristband that we see Gregory using earlier in the gameplay trailer. The green computer chip sort of gave that away, along with like the vaguely ear-shaped bits at the top and like the top hat square thing that you see. That wristband is red colored, but the one that Gregory is wearing is actually like yellow or gold colored. And also, apparently the arcade is called the Fazcade, which, that's choice. Next is Roxy's Raceway. This looks like an entrance to her area itself. They have like go-karts on display, as well as a motorcycle, some helmets, some steering wheels, and some tires. And for some reason, they really like tires. There's a lot of tires. There are some trophies, there's some more ATMs, there's a side door, and there's also some vending machines. And I think one of them literally says Fun Time Vending Machine. I'm not certain about the fun time part, so don't quote me on that. And I'm not exactly certain who is painted on the side of the machines. It almost looks like they're wearing shades to me. Not certain who it is, but there's a character on there. Next is, I'm going to talk about both of the Salon pictures, Salon 1 and Salon 2. Pretty self-explanatory. It seems like the Salon will be like inside of or adjacent to Roxy's Raceway. There's a kiddie play area outside next to it. Again, another rocket ride. There you go. And again, they use some red undertones, which I really like. Next is the Fazer Blast counter. This is another self-explanatory one. There's like a beat-up filing cabinet and a printer in the back. But besides Roxanne needing like a little bit of a cleanup done on her PNG file, it's a standard shot, but still really pretty. Less is more when it comes to lighting, and it seems like Steel Wool has pretty much figured out this balance, which is awesome, because lighting is one of my favorite things, and and they're doing a pretty good job. Next is the Fazer Blast Arena. Oh boy, it's the arena again. Woohoo! So this is a different angle. We've seen the most of this area because, again, it's pretty empty, meaning few spoilers. So the arena seems to use the traditional green versus red, and areas in between are magenta/purple. Heh. At this point, there's more references to Freddy in space than there are animatronics in this game. I had to brighten the image a lot before I could see the ceiling properly, but it looks like there's like either a catwalk or like a vent system running along the ceiling. Could be one, could be other, could be both, could be neither. Could be an area people are intentionally able to walk through, because again, we do see a spiral staircase going up, so could lead to there. Who knows? Next is El Chip. It's just called El Chip. This is his restaurant. The meme is alive. We've seen some video clips of this area, but this is a good, nice wallpaper, high quality picture. It looks like almost like a grab and go buffet sort of area. Behind the food area is another game area. Probably like a continuation of one of the arcades. For some reason, they decided to crucify Chip on the wall. I don't know. This is one of the funniest references I've ever seen so far in this game. The wet floor bot is really cute. I love my bots. Oh my gosh. We're probably going to see some really fun references in regards to food and drinks here, because again, Sodaroni is like an actual thing now, and it's on the soda machines as well. It's awesome. And in addition to El Chip, the Nvidia trailer shows a retro diner filled with more serving robots. Thought I would mention it here because, again, it's just another, food area. Utilidors. So this is where we figured out, like, the official name for, like, the underground tunnel area. Sort of like what they have at Disney World. Hi guys, Future I Am here. Really quickly, I just realized that the animatronic platform most likely connects to the Utilidors. That's basically the first or second floor found below the Pizzaplex. The Utilidors have been a pretty common sight in both of the trailers, but this is really nice, like, still shot of the hallway that Gregory was running down earlier in the gameplay trailer. I had to do like a lot of brightening to show off some of the key points here. Unfortunately not like too much in the screenshot itself. We have like a lot of cables and pipes up top and along the walls, which is pretty standard. But we do also have a label on the wall, and it has like a knife, fork, and a plate on it, possibly pointing us to the kitchen. It does seem like the Utilidors, again, the Utilidors, sewers, and kitchen are probably going to all meet up together. There's also a symbol at the end of the hall that's a slice of pizza. I don't know what the difference is between the slice of pizza and the kitchen symbol. I assume it's like the kitchen, and then the pizza is like where you serve it in like the dining area. So the next section is about other unmentioned areas within the Pizzaplex. So this area is going to talk about some areas that haven't been mentioned yet or aren't specifically named within the game / wallpapers. Some of them are general areas, some of them are more specific, but they just haven't been talked about yet. First is Backstage. Backstage is what I'm calling the areas that guests aren't supposed to see. It seems like a lot of the hallway shots are technically backstage. Most of the guest-facing areas do connect backstage because, you know, gotta get the staff in and out somehow. And these connected areas will include the green rooms, minigame rooms, and more. Next, we have the sewer. I've talked about this before, but we'll go a little bit more in depth. The sewer is obviously like a maze area, and it connects to other backstage areas. It might even be like a sub-basement level within the facility. I mean, the Utilidors and all that stuff are its own sub-basement. So the sewers could be a sub-basement. I have no idea. The sewer wallpaper shows a trash room, but I don't know if it's actually part of the sewer because we see a sewer grate on the floor in that trash room. So yeah, it seems like there may be either 2 or 3 levels to the Pizzaplex. Next are the storage rooms. There are a few storage rooms backstage which directly connect to the shipping and receiving area. Seems like there's a lot of storage rooms we haven't seen, as well as hidden backstage areas that you just randomly find by playing. Next is the back room. I've talked about this room a little bit prior, but I'll go more in depth here. So this is the large area in the Nvidia trailer that we see. I was going to call it a boiler room, but there's a lot more going on in here than just some water heaters. A large portion of the room has storage shelves, and there's like a staff meeting space on the second floor as well. I'm calling it a back room because, again, it has more than just boilers. There's an area behind the shipping and receiving room that could be considered the boiler room, but I'm unsure if this back room is the same as a boiler room or if they're separate or what. Finally is the arcade repair room. So this is where we see the hand at the end of the gameplay trailer. I can only assume this room is connected to one of the arcade wings, and it's meant for repairing electronic equipment like the arcade cabinets. Next, I'll be talking about my layout maps / diagrams for Security Breach. I created some maps for the museum hall, the entrance / atrium, and the playground areas. These are pretty crudely drawn areas, and I'm pretty confident about the museum hall, but the other ones are a little bit more rudimentary. I wanted to make more maps, such as like Monty's Golf, but some of the areas are really elaborate and confusing as it is, so I couldn't really do that. Hopefully others can help out in creating more maps as we collect more footage and lore. So first is the museum hall. I'm unsure where this area connects to in the overall scheme of the game, but there is an unseen area in the atrium, so it's possible that the museum hall connects to the atrium in this way. So with this map, I'm just going to go, I think, from left to right. So first we have the gallery along the wall. This is, I mentioned it previously, but this is possibly where we can like collect random images, pictures, drawings, whatever, and they may appear in the gallery, or there's just like some, you know, set artwork that is over there in the gallery. We have a door right next to it to the right, and then we also have a door to the left along the wall. So then we'll go over the top section. The top section is basically like the back area. You'll see in the middle right there we have an overlook, which is, I think, basically people could just like go up to the window and like look in the area. We also have some more museum cases. We have the Foxy's Pirate Adventure statue right back there as well. And probably a lot more, you know, museum pieces that we don't see are in the back there. And then we'll go to the right side. So the right side is a pretty, I don't know, it's a really unknown area because we don't really see any shots of it in the gameplay trailer or anything like that. I know that there is like a doorway that has music notes above it. Not exactly certain what happens in there, but there's a doorway there. Next, we're going to look at the bottom area. So the bottom area is actually all of the green rooms slash photo op rooms for each animatronic. So you can see from right to left, we have Freddy and his photo shoot area. Then we have Roxy and her photo shoot area. And then Monty and his photo shoot area, and then Chica and her photo shoot area. And what's interesting is that there are actually 3 statues of the animatronics. They have one for Chica, Monty, and Roxy. There's none for Freddy, but I assume that's because the Pizzaplex is basically themed after him. His face is on the walls, they got a statue out front in the entrance, so he's covered on that front. Next to Chica's area, there was also like a fully rendered vent that I noticed, as well as like a door next to it. And I assume that vents might be a game mechanic, not certain, but yeah, the vents are there. And so, as mentioned earlier as well, each animatronic has their statue pretty close to them, and then near those statues are some relevant museum pieces. So near Chica's area, they have the old cupcake design, adorable. They have her new guitar, which is awesome, and a couple of other things over there. Monty, I couldn't exactly tell what was in his area, but he does have some statue pieces and museum stuff. I'm not exactly certain. It's weird because Chica and Freddy and sort of Roxy are the only ones that have stuff that are kind of themed around them from like previous games. But Monty's an alligator, and we've never really had an alligator before. So yeah, I'm not exactly certain what is represented with him. We have Roxy. Roxy has quite a few museum pieces around her statue. And we also have the Foxy's Pirate Adventure statue in the back behind her. And then finally we have Freddy's area. Freddy, again, I didn't see a statue for him, but I think there are some museum pieces in there. I did notice kind of between his area and Roxy's statue, there is a mic stand. And next to that mic stand is I did a crude drawing in the upper right hand corner. It's just like an arm holding something. I assume it's an arm with a microphone. I can't tell if it's a statue of Freddy or what it is. I think it's just a random statue. Not sure who of, but it's there. Otherwise, not a lot to mention in this room. There are a lot of really cute decorations. There are like the neon heads above each of their green rooms. And then they also have the neon heads above them in the gallery area. So my next map is going to be of the atrium / the entrance. It became apparent to me quite early on in my analysis that the atrium and front entrance of the Pizzaplex would be connected. I wasn't exactly certain how, but after sketching this out, I think I have figured it out pretty well. As a note, the atrium itself might not be centered in relation to the Pizzaplex entrance. I say this because behind the entrance you can see like a bright blue ring, which looks centered behind Freddy's statue. But when you look at the atrium itself, the blue ring is slightly to like the right side of the room. So in this map I also marked each floor based on its height. It's a little hard to tell based on the map that I drew alone, but I'll try and help you guys out by sort of highlighting areas and supplementing it with some pictures. Level 1 is the height where the entrance is, as well as the turnstiles. It's also the level where the atrium seating is and where the stage area is. Level 2 is a flat area up the stairs behind the entrance. Notable locations on this level include the Faz pad, the doorways leading from the entrance to the atrium, and like the wraparound area that's a little bit higher up where the Soda-Roni stand is, and the Salon and other hallways are found. The balcony is just a balcony. It's much higher up than the other 2 floors. And the elevator behind the Freddy statue also leads to the balcony, and most likely splits out into the hallway where we see Vanessa and wraps around to the Bonnie Bowl area. So for this map, I'm going to be going from the bottom to the top. So at the bottom, we have the entrance to the Pizzaplex. First, we have the turnstiles, then we have the booths, and then we have the extra turnstiles for those. In the middle, we have the Freddy statue. Behind the Freddy statue, we have the elevator to the balcony. As mentioned before, to the left, we have a little theater. Above that's going to be the Faz pad, which is on level 2. To the right of the Freddy statue, we have Glam Rock Gifts. And the stairs to the back lead up from level 1 to level 2. Again, level 2 leads around to the Faz pad. And it also spits straight out into the atrium. Level 2 does wrap all the way around the atrium. Again, it's where the Sodaroni stand is, Salon, possibly some halls to like the Fazer Blast area, Raceway. Not exactly certain. We go back down into level 1 for the seating area and the stage. If you were to take the elevator up to the balcony, you would spit out and go around, and the balcony leads all the way around over to the Bonnie Bowl area. I also marked the areas that are unknown on the map. These are places where I just don't know what's there. We haven't seen any good pictures of the area, so I'm not exactly certain, what everything is and where it is in this area. So the final map is going to be of the playground. I'm not super confident in this map, but it's a good crude map for this area. And it does seem like this area has a day and night cycle and include the sun and moon animatronics. It looks like there's party rooms in the playground area, and they probably correspond to each specific character. Red is going to be Freddy's room, pink is Chica's, purple is Roxy's, and green is Monty's. So let's see, for this one I'm going to go from left to right. So to the left, we have the far wall, which is where we see like the little floating tower. And that's where you see the sun and moon rotate around it to see if it's daytime or nighttime. Just below that, on the floor level, there is a ball pit. And there's sort of kind of like a castle tower defense wall thing between that and the rest of the playground area. So I'm calling these 2 large areas Climber 1 and Climber 2. Climber 1 and Climber 2 are connected. They have a bridge in the middle, and they also have sort of like walkways to get inside. There's also at least 3 slides on the climbers. There's 2 areas that I'm unsure about. First is going to be the top left corner, and second is the bottom right corner. There seems to be just sort of like a flat area over on the right side over here. We have the general playmat area, and then we have just kind of another box over there. Outside of the turret wall things on the side, we have sort of like plexiglass walls that you would kind of see actually like an ice skating rink. Those are on the outside of the playground, and outside of those are like a kind of a seating area with some tables and chairs for people to sit at. Above that, we have somewhere there's going to be a walkway to get to floor 2. Which is basically the balcony. There's going to be like a smaller, more square floor 2 area on one side, and on the other side is actually going to be like the balcony / walkway where you see the 4 different colored rooms. So the next section I'm going to talk about are the FNAF AR/VR lore basics. To understand the lore and the possible outcomes in Security Breach, you have to first understand the lore that's created within FNAF AR and VR. I wrote a really long document in 2019 in an attempt to connect AR and VR together. I actually used it in my Not Scary video for FNAF AR. It's a long document. And reflecting on the topic, it's really obvious that not all of these details are meant to be taken into account between the 2 games. Instead, AR and VR parallel each other, and they share overall themes, and those themes are what we as players are supposed to leave with. So in FNAF Pizzeria Simulator, we had something similar to this happen. We had Kenny Cadet would mention stories that contain like taking 5 things and putting them all together. One of them was melting keys into 1 key. Another was turning cats into 1 cat. It was weird. But yeah, these overall themes are what we're supposed to be taking away from these two games. So here's my explanation on the connection between FNAF AR and VR. So basically, Fazbear Entertainment sent some circuit boards to various companies for scanning and data reclamation purposes. While one company or more worked to reclaim data, Fazbear began developing FNAF VR with a different outside company, which is Silver Parasol Games, sending them boards in the hopes of expediting the game's development. As stated by the VR announcer, performance routines and personalities were extracted for use within VR. They also began looking for data that could be used to program real-life animatronics, such as the ones for special delivery. One company scanned a board containing a virus of some kind, which spread really quickly, and Fazbear realized that there was an issue with the older circuit boards. So they stopped production on the extraction of data, and they claimed the circuit boards from all of their outsourced companies, which includes Silver Parasol. They pulled back too late, though. Jeremy had committed suicide over Glitchtrap's attempts to take him over, and Ness had already begun following Afton's commands from time to time. Fazbear reclaimed their circuit boards, but Afton had already invaded VR and the minds of others, and he landed on Vanny, or Vanessa, who he could partially control. His goal was, or is, to exit his digital form, Glitchtrap, aka Malhair, and re-enter the real world by any means necessary, be it through human experimentation, insertion into an animatronic body, or otherwise. It's not super detailed, but if we looked at the nitty-gritty details in the connection between AR and VR, it would take a long time to figure out, as you can tell from my stupid long notepad document. So TLDR is that Afton, or Glitchtrap, found his way to recruit Vanny to help him out as he attempts to reach his goals. I'm uncertain as to what his goals are, besides becoming a real boy, but for some reason him and Vanny are hell-bent on finding Gregory. The next section is the continuation of AR and VR lore in Security Breach. This is a general overview of how Security Breach will follow through with the lore that I just established within AR and VR. Specific details regarding the goals of Afton and Vanny are fuzzy, so any of my mentions of their motivations, just take them with a grain of salt. And my predictions as to what might happen in the games are based upon the information that I've gathered from the wallpapers and trailers. My information and concepts might not be totally accurate, so just take this section as food for thought regarding the game's lore. So, at some point, Afton's goal is to regain a physical body of some sort. He could likely restore his mind via remnant in an animatronic or even human body. Feels like Stitch Wraith will tie into the games now, literally or metaphorically. And we have either Afton and Vanny will share Vanny's mind, or Afton is able to at least tell her what to do in some way. At one point, she was seen talking to her computer, so, he can communicate with her. Afton has Vanny choose a child to capture and or kill. Not certain why. Who is Gregory? Most likely Gregory visits during the day, possibly alone if he's old enough, and somehow he winds up staying after close. This is either by accident or due to some kind of sabotage. It's really likely that Vanny could have singled out a child during the day or at closing time as a security guard. I see two possible scenarios in regards to the connection between Vanny and Glitchtrap. Scenario 1 is Vanny and Afton share a mind. Vanny first begins searching for Gregory, still posing as a night guard. And when Gregory isn't complying with her demands, Vanny or Afton lashes out and scares him, causing him to run away. It's possible that Afton and Vanessa are battling over who's the dominant personality, and Afton might just take over whenever they see Gregory. Scenario 2 is Vanny having a legitimate split personality, meaning that she has good intentions in trying to help Gregory leave before 6 a.m., up until she actually sees him. Once she sees Gregory, her alternate personality takes over and she starts hunting him. No matter which scenario is true, good intentions or not, it seems clear that Vanessa or Vanny accidentally scares Gregory early on in the game. The Glamrock animatronics will eventually enter patrol or staff-controlled mode and begin looking for Gregory. By this point, Vanessa switches over to Vanny, as she has already scared Gregory and likely knows that he won't trust the security guard facade she puts on. Some more food for thought. Vanny is seen as a reluctant follower in FNAF VR, and it seems like she might eventually attempt to help Gregory in Security Breach. If scenario 1 is true, Vanny will likely fight Afton for control of her own mind. If scenario 2 is true, Vanny and Vanessa will likely have an internal struggle. Either way, I get the idea that later on we're going to end up sympathizing with her. The next section I'll talk about known animatronics and general game mechanics within Security Breach. Some mechanics have to do with these animatronics, and some are just overarching mechanics within the game. Most are rather easy to understand, but some of this is speculation, so just be warned. So first is known animatronics. The main 4 animatronics are Roxanne Wolf, Glamrock Chica, Glamrock Freddy, and Montgomery Gator. There are even more animatronics roaming around. It's unknown as to which are good or bad, though. The moon animatronic, Moondrop, has red eyes in the trailer, but we still don't really know if he's dangerous. The sun animatronic, Sunrise, seems fine. In the gameplay trailer, we actually see the player turn a little bit near the end of his clip when he's like near Sunrise, which means that most likely you can get really close to Sunrise without anything bad happening. Besides those animatronics, we have serving robots and a few other assistance robots, such as the wet floor sign, which is an interesting one because there's like a normal wet floor sign in the back. I feel like Fazer is just trying to be really flashy, so they would have a robot for it because they can. There's probably other animatronics that haven't been shown off yet. It's quite apparent that we've only seen a portion of the entire Pizzaplex complex. So yeah, there's going to be more stuff there that we haven't seen yet. We also have El Chip on the wall in the quick service area, but I think he might just be a statue. I don't know. We'll find out. It'll be interesting. Next is animatronic / enemy avoidance. The animatronics in Security Breach likely have their own nighttime patrol or an employee-controlled mode, sort of like the FNAF 2 animatronics, which is where they would get their glowing red eyes. Hi guys, Future I Am again. So the red eyes could also just indicate that an animatronic is powering up or that they're using more power than usual. Just note the fact that the red eyes first activate while the animatronics are on the vertically moving platform. We know that Gregory is able to hide in numerous spots to avoid being caught by Vanny in the main 4. These will likely include the vents. We saw one of them in the museum hall earlier. Curtains, again in the museum hall, and in a clip from the trailer. Or by using the Jurassic Park Raptor technique, which we see when Gregory is running away from Chica in the kitchen. Additional mechanics may also include a control shock feature. We see like a symbol for it on Gregory's watch, misdirection through selective sound cues, and blocked off areas, like the chain link fences. Next is lighting and its effects on animatronics. Another mechanic has to do with the facility's lights. It's not entirely explained how the lights will work, but every area looks like it has the ability to have the lights on or off. Playground seems to have its own day and night cycle that Gregory probably could control in some way. The only known consequence to the playground's day and night cycle is that the sun animatronic might be active during the day while the moon is active at night. It's possible they could both be active at once, but the brightness might affect each one differently. Lighting is most likely going to be an overall game mechanic, so just keep an eye out for that when the game comes out. The next section is Animatronic Allies. Over time, it might be possible to befriend animatronics, or at the very least, Freddy. Freddy might malfunction and no longer be in the aforementioned patrol mode, or there's going to be like an override switch on him, and in turn on other animatronics. We see all of the animatronics' respective Pizzaplex locations except for Freddy. We have Roxy Raceway, Monty's Golf area, and Chica's party areas. If there is a mechanic in which we free animatronics and get their help, Monty will probably be the last one we can free, because he seems really dangerous. Most likely we can only climb into Freddy, as Roxanne and Chica don't look like they have viable compartments. We may or may not be able to climb into Monty, because we won't really know until the game comes out, but he has a chest compartment that's pretty similarly shaped to Freddy's. And again, the fountain shot could be foreshadowing, but I think that was just included to make us speculate. I also get the feeling that each animatronic will have their own sets of advantages. Freddy is our initial friendly animatronic, and he has his own stomach compartment. He's probably our guide throughout the game after we find or free him. I feel like each animatronic will be initially found in specific areas, and once they're free from their patrol mode or their Vanny controlled mode, they can help us in said areas. Next is animatronic roaming capabilities. I sort of mentioned this in the last section, but I'm going to go into more detail here. since this concept might be really important in regards to gameplay. From what I can tell, it looks like most or all of the main animatronics will first be encountered in their respective locations. So Roxy at her raceway, Monty in his mini golf course, etc. After you first encounter/activate the animatronics, they could probably begin to free roam around the entire building. I've brought up the concept of a patrolling or staff-controlled mode quite often before. If this concept turns out to be true, then the main floor will begin free roaming after this mode is switched on by Vanessa, possibly by that red button on the wall. Moondrop and Sunrise are found in the playground depending upon the day/night cycle, and we see Moondrop with red eyes in the kitchen during the teaser trailer. So most likely these two will also be able to free roam. Next is audio cues. Throughout the Security Breach trailers, we hear both Vanny and Vanessa say quite a few voice lines. Personally, it seems like some of these voice lines come directly from the game itself and will be used as Vanny/Vanessa search for Gregory. We do see what seems to be an intercom in the security camera office, so it may be possible for Vanny to use it to try speaking with Gregory. The voice lines from Monty and Freddy likely appear in the game as well, though in more structured or scripted moments. Moondrop and Sunrise, as I mentioned before, have bells on their wrists, so there might be a jingling sound cue that happens when encountering them. It's extremely likely that there's many more audio cues hidden around that we'll have to listen for in order to avoid detection. FNAF likes its sound cues in pretty much every game. Finally is the wristband. Besides the flashlight, the wristband looks like the most obvious tool to aid the player during Security Breach. With it, the player can flip between/pan/zoom the cameras, keep track of their flashlight battery, view lore tidbits, keep track of their inventory, view a map of the complex, and possibly even give controlled shocks. It can also tell the player what time it is, which is handy. You know how it goes. Always get that clock in the corner. It's probably possible to play the entire game without acquiring the wristband, but this would probably likely be a sort of challenge mode akin to, Point Crow beating Breath of the Wild with just one stick. Not an official challenge, but one that players are willing to toy with. Next section is possible secrets and endgame content within Security Breach. There's many possibilities in terms of endings and secrets, as there are full minigame rooms, such as the racing course, the mini golf course, etc., and just full general rooms, such as the playground room, the ice cream parlor/arcade, just to name a few. First, I'll discuss possible secrets. The green rooms of the main floor contain arcade machines, and it's likely that a player would need to play all these machines to unlock something. At one point, we also see a big red button in one of the trailers. It's very tempting, and I'm assuming this button is either the patrol activation or building lockdown switch, meaning that Gregory can't leave. He might have to find this button to escape the building or to free the animatronics from Vanny. Either way, this button is probably important. I've mentioned the orange lights being strewn around the map quite a few times. So again, they can just signal the locations of accessible cameras, or they could be part of some larger secret that we don't know about yet. So finally, here is some possible endgame lore/content. In one of Dawko's wallpapers, we see a deactivated and broken Chica in a trash room somewhere. It almost looks like she's been infected, and her beak is completely gone, along with a hole in her chest. And it looks like there's some sort of a black decay occurring as well. It's very creepy. I know that during AR/VR, Afton is trying to get back into the real world, and it would probably be possible to infect the animatronics within Security Breach with some sort of virus. Either that or Afton has already completed a new body using parts stolen from other animatronics by the time you play as Gregory in Security Breach. Based on this, it really feels like there's going to be multiple outcomes. It's possible we'll be hunted down by the broken animatronics later on, but I doubt it. They're probably just there to signify that Afton has stole animatronic parts from many sources. I think what's most likely is that the screenshot is from later on in the game. So throughout the game, Afton's going to be trying to get body parts to build himself back up. So the last section is my final thoughts. This may sound super dumb, but there is a whispered voice line at the end of the gameplay trailer, and it sounds exactly like Baby's voice actor.
There is more going on here than you realize. Did you know that I was on stage once?
Yeah. I know someone at some point had speculated that different older animatronics may be hidden somewhere, and that most likely will be the case late into the game. We'll probably find some interesting stuff down in the sewers, but I don't think anyone else has really brought up the voice actor parallel yet. So just, that's a thing that I noticed. There you go. I also rewatched Markiplier's Sister Location playthrough while writing this. I think it's really interesting that the Afton character in Sister Location, who is supposedly Michael, has a British accent, but the voice we hear at the beginning of the gameplay trailer for Security Breach has an American voice. It's hard to know which Afton is the one that ends up becoming Glitchtrap, so I've just been saying Afton instead of William. I was also thinking Glitchtrap / Malhair could just be an amalgamation of multiple Afton characters, or an amalgamation of just many various characters that have been stored within the code, but that's just my theory. Accents probably don't get transferred through computer code, so there you go. All in all, there's still quite a few areas that haven't been shown to us within Security Breach. I'm really interested to see what I got right and what I got wrong in this video. I really want to know how everything within the map connects. I want to know if my maps are accurate at all. I feel pretty confident in like the Atrium, but I really want to know what other stuff is out there that we haven't seen yet. I feel like it won't be too difficult to navigate within Pizzaplex, but there's going to be a lot of rooms to memorize, so it might take a hot minute to get that figured out. And I know that the map on the wristwatch will definitely help us a lot in that aspect. Alright guys, so that is all of the stuff that I found within Security Breach so far. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was like a thorough analysis for you guys. I've really never done an analysis this deep on pretty much anything in any game, but I had a lot of fun with it, and there was a lot of stuff that I noticed that I didn't realize was there until I like looked much further into the pictures and the videos. I tried to avoid as many, theory videos and stuff as I could while making this. I've been making this since the gameplay trailer came out, which was that like February? I've been having to work on this script / video between work, and I've had work like every day. So I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Let me know if you thought anything I've said was wrong, or let me know what your theories are, or if you have any questions about like possible lore, possible game mechanics and stuff, because there's most likely stuff in here that I just didn't mention that are worth mentioning. So thank you guys for watching, and if you made it this far, thank you so much. This is a long ass video. This is probably one of the longest I've done that wasn't a live stream. So yeah, thank you guys for watching.